Oh, look at that. It worked. We're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome aboard for episode... Oh, well, in fact, it's not an episode. It's a quiz special tonight, where Mark is feeling uplifted, perhaps? Is that the right thing to say?
Yeah, I think so.
Lindsay's going to commemorate a legend, and I'm feeling a bit blue. Welcome to the layover.
One life for the revolution. Rise up and unite. Woo! Rise up.
I would just like to make it known to all the viewers that I was very punctual in submitting my quiz round yesterday evening.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark and Scott have been discussing theirs up until about 7 seconds before we went live and during the intro.
And that also meant that whilst I was doing the intro, I had to fill in a little bit because I was on the wrong screen to click for the video to come on. So that I was desperately trying to find my mouse to make it work. Oh dear, what a palaver. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. So what have we been up to this week? Mark, I saw you were flying today.
I have, for the first time in a very long while, been flying. I was flying the Yak 52 today. I have not been well. As actually, I think I mentioned last time, so I've not been well. So I've not really done anything very much. I did meet some people off Twitter, actually, at the Flying Club on Saturday, which was nice to put faces to cyber names.
Profiles.
Profiles, whatever you would call it. So that was very pleasant. But yeah, it was very good to get airborne. It was really good to get airborne. Doing a bit of instructing, which is lovely.
Yeah, that's cool. Lindsay, what have you been up to? You went to Africa.
I was working.
Somebody has to.
Yeah, and I added the extra puzzle piece to your quiz on Twitter. I was in a craft.
I saw that you absolutely blew it. I deliberately kept the name of the airport off, and you did a picture with the name of the airport in it underneath. I was like, oh, blown it.
I was sat waiting for pushback, and I was like, hang on, I'm sure I've seen this scene before, and it was your tweet.
There we are.
Yeah, it was actually pouring a rain that night. It was horrendous rain, and worst rain I've had to do a walk around in for a long time. Good evening, John from Benidorm. There are no handicaps apart from me, I'm afraid. So there is no chance that you're getting a handicap, drunk or not. I hope you're enjoying your holiday.
Can't get an excuse in that early. That's way, way, way too early for an excuse.
It is. I hope you're enjoying your holiday.
Mark's online as well. I know we've exchanged Land Rover chat, and he's got his beloved Land Rover back, which is nice.
So, Scotty, tell us, how's this quiz going to run tonight? What do people need to do? How do they submit their answers? And what's the prize?
We haven't heard what Scott's been doing this week.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Scott.
What have you been doing, Scott?
Not much. I went flying. Actually, no, I did go flying, actually, didn't I?
You went flying. I went way around the Mac Loop.
Twice, in fact. Yeah, it was so surprising. The photographers didn't catch us the first time because they were all looking the other direction. No, that's not a lie. You are allowed to go around it that way if you're in a civilian airplane. It's only the military that have to follow the right way around.
So what is Mac Loop? For those that don't know, what is the Mac Loop?
So Machynlleth, and I have to be very careful how I say that, is a place in West Wales, and at the base of that little town, stop laughing, that's going to set me off. You are going to set me off. And there is a circular valley, shall we say, that you can go up one side and come down the other. And at the very top of that valley, facing Snowdon, is a really nice piece where you can fly through at 500 MSD or higher, just for the CA. And they can the people on the mountains will actually be significantly higher than you, and get some lovely pictures pointing down at the aeroplane as you go flying past. got some amazing photos. Some of them are on Twitter. I'm not going to put them on here tonight. If anybody wants to go and look, it was really quite cool, actually.
And what were you doing? 400-500 knots, something like that, Scotty?
Yeah, probably nearer 120. But actually, it's a really nice PA-28 with the short wings, and it has all the bits to cover the flap. So it's quite a quick little aeroplane. It's really nice to fly, actually.
But not as quick as a Typhoon.
But not as quick as a Typhoon. And if it was coming the other way, it would always win. Right, let's move on. Tonight's quiz.
Yes.
Let's talk about the quiz.
Love a quiz.
So there are 4 rounds this evening, and we're going to be competing for some exclusive layover merch. There will be some merch. I've got some merch here. There are some caps that we're going to give away. There are some T-shirts we're going to give away, and there are even some key rings.
Well, that's
Sweet.
cool.
Oh, hang on,
cool.
Hang on, why have we
We've not
got them?
seen those.
Oh no, these are new. These are new.
Oh.
Look,
Why do they
Layover key
always
rings.
end up at yours?
Yeah, there's a reason for that, because they all get built in my garage.
Okay.
Right. Also, there is some other merch. We've got some of this, courtesy of Airbus, so you can have a model of whatever that is. But there is also a big bag of goodies from Lockheed Martin, and in here are all sorts of F-35 bits. There's lanyards, caps. There's even a Lego F-35 for those that are interested. So there is some.
Am I too late to enter as a competitor?
Yes.
Not allowed. You're banned. You're banned. So how do you take part, everyone? So you take part. You need to answer the questions correctly. And then what you need to do is email them at the end of each round to an email address, which will hopefully cunningly appear on the bottom. There you are. So it's media@thelayover.tv. At the end of each round, email your answers to us. And then we'll move on to the next round. So once we move on to the next round, no answers will be accepted for the previous round, because obviously at some point we will give the answers at the end. But it's pretty easy. Email us the answers each round. Remember to put your team name, please, in the subject box so that we know who you are. It might not pick up. It's the same email every time. At the end, we'll top up the answers and we'll announce the winner on Twitter, because we're not going to be able to do that as part of the live show tonight. So we'll announce the winner. Yeah, announce the winners on Twitter, and we'll send you your prizes. We'll get in contact via email and send you your prizes. As ever,
If somebody sends, if they look at the answers and think the answer that I want to give isn't there, but they send one that's amusing, is that in the running as well?
possibly. It depends on how amusing that it is. I will give
bonus answers in the chat.
Bonus points for extra amusing if it was. Also, there will be no arguing over the decision. Okay, so the decision is final. When we give an answer, that's the answer. That's the one that we've all agreed is the answer. And even if it's the wrong answer, it's still the right answer as far as we're concerned. So that's no arguments, please. Right.
It sounds very commanding.
I'm ready.
Yes. Without further ado, Lindsay,
explain the round.
Right, round one is the Who Am I round. So I'm going to give you 3 clues about an aircraft, and you need to identify that aircraft. 10 questions in the round, and all I need is the aircraft type. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, so question number 1, or aircraft number 1. So my last operational mission was the 1st of April, 1954. I have 24 different variants, and approximately 20,300 of me were built.
Ooh, tough.
Aircraft number 1.
That's a good one.
Okay, aircraft number 2. I was steered by the hips. Scotty, you'd be all over that.
No chance. Crashed. We've crashed.
Part of me has been to the moon.
Oh, I know this one now.
And I flew 4 times.
That's the same as a number of flights I flew last year.
Okay, aircraft number 3. I have the longest wingspan of any combat aircraft ever built. I have 10 engines in total, and I've never fired a shot in combat.
Okay.
Right, aircraft number 4. My wings must be fully stalled in order to land.
Stalled?
Fully stalled
Holy moly.
in order to land. I was designed by Kelly Johnson,
Ah, I know this one.
and I cruise around 70,000 feet.
I think I know that one.
Right, aircraft number 5. So for aircraft number 5, I want the specific aircraft. So clue 1, I was in service from 1945 until 1946. I now feature at the National Air and Space Museum, and Little Boy was a passenger of mine.
Oh,
That's you, isn't it, Scott?
yeah. No, I was the other passenger, in fact. On
Right,
the other one.
aircraft number 6. So I was the largest fixed wing seaplane ever built. I was made mostly of birch, and I feature in the 2004 film Aviator.
The Aviator.
The Aviator. Right.
All right. Well,
All right, Leonardo.
What I don't want is for this to go to the inquiry.
Leonardo.
He was in it, wasn't he, Leonardo DiCaprio?
He was. Yeah, he was in it. He wasn't.
Don't give any more clues away. That's like an additional clue.
Okay,
Oh,
aircraft number 7. Okay, so I've transported equipment for NASA for both the Apollo and Gemini missions. I'm constructed from the parts of many different aircraft, including the 707, C-130, and the P-3 Orion. And only 5 of these super aircraft have ever been built. Come on, Scott. I feel like you should know that one.
I've actually seen it.
Okay. Right.
So it's in the desert at Pima. You've probably seen it as well. You've been to the Pima Museum, haven't you?
You're just showing off.
Right, aircraft number 8. So I'm the only UK designed and built fighter that's capable of Mach 2. I was part of an RAF advertisement which stated, "Want to climb 2 Everests in 3 minutes," boasting my phenomenal climb performance.
It's not the PA-28, is it?
No.
Get out
And
the Mac loop.
I've been used by the RAF and the Air Forces of Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Oh, lost my page.
That could be
Right.
a lot there, actually.
Aircraft number 9. So I was the first variable swept wing production aircraft. My 2 pilots sit side by side, and if they need to eject, then there's no ejection seats. The whole cockpit capsule ejects.
We did a video about this last week.
And I'm named after the animal I resemble, which is a long-snouted pig.
What? Everyone's looking at me. What does? Yeah.
All right,
not
last
seen a what.
aircraft. Aircraft number 10. So this is the last question in the round. In 1951, I set the world record for the first jet aircraft to make a non-stop transatlantic flight. Now, not wanting to boast, but also in 1957, I established the world altitude record of 70,310 feet. I have 2 crew. The pilot sits slightly off center and the navigator sits in my nose. And I'm now the gate guard at RAF Witten. And that is round
Still
1.
in service with RAF Luton, in fact, as well. I believe
Yeah.
taking photos all over the UK.
Often from a very low level.
Yes, yes. Hey, great round, Lindsay. Great start to get us off.
Yeah,
So remember, get your answers sorted. Email them to media@thelayover.tv. Whilst we're doing that, Mark,
Yes.
what's this about you being uplifted?
Well, so I am going to be talking about things that uplift because we're going to be doing airships in a bit. But this is op-pitting, which is the operation to to lift people out of Afghanistan. And I guess if anyone's seen it, it's not uplifting at all. It's entirely heartbreaking. But actually, as from an aviation point of view, it is the most extraordinary thing that I think I've seen in a very, very, very long time. You know, just in terms of balancing out the danger, the humanitarian effort, some of the decisions that people have to make, it is absolutely extraordinary. So a couple of facts about it. It's the biggest humanitarian airlift effort since the Berlin blockade. Now, that's quite a thing.
Wow.
And Berlin Airlift, of course, was cargo. It was about moving cargo in and out to help people rather than moving people out to save them. And the Berlin Airlift was, you know, the nice thing was it was the Cold War, so no one was shooting, whereas this is horrific. I think I reckon most people wouldn't have been able to identify a C-17 prior to some news footage a couple of weeks ago, and all of a sudden everybody knows what a C-17 is. Interesting thing about the C-17, so it's about 30 years old now. C-17.
They're still in production.
They are absolutely not in production anymore.
No.
And there are thousands of people. I mean, look at that. That is incredible. There was a new record set, which I think is now, and I'm not sure whether it's gone up or down, but this is a number that was first bandied around, which was 823 passengers on the aircraft, designed to hold a maximum of 134.
Wow.
Wow.
Babies have been born in flight. And I got some C-17 numbers for you. 257 made, 171,000 pounds of payload, which is pretty massive. It can reverse itself up a 2% slope. That is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
It's they're not very fast. About as fast as a 146 or regional jet, but they've got a good 3,000 mile range. They can obviously be air refueled as well. There's some great footage of them doing tactical descents with the reversers out.
I've seen that. It's a great video.
And in the UK, it's us, the Qataris, the Americans, of course, the Australians that operate them. Can you think of anyone else, Scotty?
Well, Qatar are the only one to operate them in a civilian scheme, because it is in the Qatar Airlines livery, isn't it? Which is a bit bizarre to see a C-17 in that. The thing it really got me was the size, and I don't think I really appreciated, because when I saw the 130 odd passengers, I thought, well, actually, the Herc used to carry 100 and odd, so it can't be that big. But actually, when you see it on this little thing here, it's as big as a 380 almost.
It's a fairly chunky thing. Hang on, the dogs come to say hello as well, so that's nice.
Welcome.
It's a fairly chunky thing, and I'm going to raise my glass to 99 Squadron at Bryce, because
I am as well. Well done, chaps, and
men and women who work there, be they ops staff or pilots or loadies or anyone.
Even just like all the ground staff that make it happen.
Just making it happen, which is absolutely incredible.
It was actually the last aircraft to leave was actually a Royal Air Force A400M, captained by Wing Commander Calvin Bailey, an old friend of mine from 47 Coding Days, who did a very nice speech as he was getting on the aeroplane with the last troops as they evacuated. It was really
so
cool.
Scotty, just as you've got that picture up, does anybody know what the record for the most or the largest humanitarian airlift record is? In terms of
single airplane,
like on a single occasion. So the picture you showed, what was 823 passengers?
Yeah, I'll go back to that if you want. Yeah, so it was
So the world record is 1,086 people on a single flight. Any idea what aircraft?
I'm looking at that jumbo jet.
Is it?
Yeah, it was an LL. And all the seats were taken out.
Wow.
And they got just over 1,000 people. And that's been the long-standing record for the biggest airlift.
I seem to remember that over 1,000 people. That's really extraordinary.
And that's just the upper deck.
But that's the upper deck.
Holy moly! Oh yeah, because I can see the flight deck at the back there. Yeah, that's
Wow.
oh dear. And that was, if I remember rightly, it was Op Solomon, which was
That's
evacuating Jews from Ethiopian Jews back to Israel, I believe.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Danny said there as well, all the other air forces, French, Finnish, everybody, Irish. The Irish people out of Kabul. Yeah, that's really extraordinary. It's just an extraordinary thing. I think we'll just remember it for a very long time, won't we? This is going to be one of these things where we remember, this whole activity for an extraordinarily long time. In the same way that helicopters hovering over, Saigon and things like that.
I agree. Lots of answers coming in. David Towney has just got in below the line before we go for the next round. We'll give you literally a 60-second warning now. So in the next minute, we're going to move on to the next round. We have got more replies than I can actually count at the moment. So thank you very much for being engaged with us.
That is amazing.
It's gone off the page.
Would you like me to tell you about my round?
Oh, go on. Let's do it before we start.
I mean, because it's fresh in his mind. It finished about 23 minutes ago.
I think of the way I work. I think of it very much like a lawyer. You're paying for all the thought that goes into it beforehand, and not the actual doing of it. Anyway, repeat the email, please. Says John.
Right. So, John, if you can read it, it's media, MEDIA at thelayover.tv. It's at the bottom of the screen, John, if you want to see it.
Get the barmaid to do it when she next comes serving you another Jaeger bomb. Right, so my round, I thought, what is the most bizarre kind of aviation subject that none of us know anything about? Which is why it took me such a long time, because I had to research all of these quite deeply. And it's about airships. So I'm going to call this a dead heat and Zeppelin race. So
you're going to call it what? Just go over that again.
A dead heat and a Zeppelin. It just came to me. It just came to me. I don't know why.
Question 1.
Let's move on. Okay, let me tell you how many questions there are, in case we got quizzes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 10. Riveting TV, that was me counting, wasn't it? 10 questions. Amazing. There are definitely 10 questions. Okay, here we go.
Right.
True or false? Germany's thirst for airships was so significant that in the First World War, sausage making was halted in favor of airships.
I know which way I'd go on this one. There is no freaking way that we're giving up sausages ever. I don't care if there's a war on.
Question 2. The first aerial bombardment of Great Britain occurred in 1915. Yeah, not the 1915, which it says there. Well, where was the target? Was it A, Bognor Regis, B, Great Yarmouth? What? I'm doing my kind of... C, Clacton, or D, Southend on Sea?
Would you like to phone a friend or go 50-50?
It's my sort of national lottery type voice. It's my best voice. Right, question 3. We all love the Queen of the Skies, the 747, and we know she's big. But how big was the Hindenburg? So this is very specifically the Hindenburg, which is a Graf Zeppelin. Was it 1.5 to 2 times longer than a jumbo? 2 to 3 times longer? 3 to 4 times longer? 4 to 5 times longer? Or 6 to 7 times longer than a 747?
I mean, this did blow my mind when we were talking about it earlier.
Don't lead them one way or the other.
Not much really.
I wasn't impressed by it.
All right, look. So I don't know what it was that attracted the almost entirely white male political classes in the early part of the 20th century to long cylindrical airships, but they did get obsessed by them. They built a lot of them, got really excited by it all. Anyway,
Not compensating for anything. Just move on.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Put them off sausages. What might have done. I'm right. I'm built for comfort, not speed. In the cruise, how fast was the Hindenburg? 8 knots, 16 knots, 32 knots, or 64 knots?
It was all a bit sedate, wasn't it? It was all sort of having afternoon tea and not going anywhere very fast, I would have thought, but I'm not sure.
The next question is an odd one out question. Which of these would not be found on board the Hindenburg? Was it a fully functioning autopilot? Was it a coxswain? Was it a drift meter? Was it a grand piano? Was it a smoking lounge? Or was it a celestial navigation window?
I feel like D and E go hand in hand.
Yeah, you've got to have the grand piano in the smoking lounge. Now, I spotted the odd one out here, and that's my buffoon, is I haven't put a dash next to celestial navigation window. But that has nothing to do with the answers. That's not the odd one out on the Hindenburg.
I was going to bring that up in the debrief, Scotty, because you had plenty of time to get this right.
Have loads of time to get this right, I know.
Questions, something else, 6. The designer of the Hindenburg wanted to convert the ship to helium lifting gas after the crash of the British R101. But it didn't happen. They designed it, by the way. They did redesign it, but it didn't actually happen. Was it A, the laws of the USA prevented export of helium? B, the fabric gas bags couldn't hold helium as well as they did hydrogen? Don't huff. Are you huffing at me?
No, I just this is a very specific quiz round.
There were
it is quite niche, isn't it?
It's meant to be niche, okay? This is me all over. There were health concerns about the effect on the vocal cords of helium. Or was it?
But what if they get any leaks, you mean?
Yeah. Or was it D? Was it D? The scientist who discovered helium was Jewish.
Oh.
So, next question. Oh, should we leave that up? Do people need to read that a little bit longer, that one? Because it's a bit wordy.
Yeah, but you did go on for a bit, so I think we'll be fine.
All
7.
right, okay.
Yeah.
Ayush is saying he's Googling these. You absolutely can't Google these.
Can't Google, that's cheating.
They can't Google them. We will ban you. Right.
That's difficult to Google.
The famous Hindenburg accident is known for its news coverage and its iconic imagery, Led Zepp albums and all that kind of stuff. But was it A, the most deadly airship accident? B, the second most deadly? C, the third? Or D, the fourth? Cheery little question I thought I'd slip in there. Elaine's giving me some feedback.
Yeah.
Right, next question. Right, we're on to Goodyear blimps. Okay, everyone must have seen a Goodyear blimp, even just in the movies. So, in which year did Goodyear start operating their famous ships? Was it 1919, 1925, 1947, or 1968?
It's quite a spread of years.
It's not meant to be easy.
No, I know, but
I thought it was our birthdays.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Obviously, yours isn't on there, Lindsay. We left off.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. the
So
boys.
here's a good little factoid. Goodyear used to build their own airships, but in 2011 they announced that they would be purchasing new airships. Who manufactures them? Zeppelin, Big Floaters LLC, Lightship Incorporated, or Cameron Balloons? Why are you laughing?
Nothing. Cameron Balloons is a very serious company in Bristol.
Exactly. It's a local business to you.
It is.
So, okay, right, here you go. So, and this is very important for all of those who are interested in getting involved in the airship crew union.
Probably not after this quiz, but yeah, keep going.
But the Hindenburg, right? So the Hindenburg carried a maximum of 50 passengers, not including catering staff, stewards, ground crew. They added a doctor at one point. How many crew were needed just to fly it? Okay, not to drag the thing on the ground. Just so, was it 8? Was it 15? Was it 19? Or was it 39? That concludes the round for this evening.
Whew.
I get the feeling that you didn't think that was as fun as I felt it was. Is that true?
No, I mean,
Scotty's reading something. Either that or
No, I've just lost the will to live. Actually,
Oh.
I just it was no, that was a great round, Mark. I was actually really riveted by that, and I'm interested. They call it ship and not aircraft or balloon. Yeah,
Ship. And it all operated to ship's principles. We'll talk about all that later.
it's very Navy.
Very, very much so.
So some of our merch tonight is from Lockheed
yeah.
Lockheed Martin.
And we've got a little video, haven't we, Scotty?
Ooh.
Do we? Of course we do. What are they having you on?
Yeah.
Right,
You
roll
are-
it.
whilst you get all your answers sorted, here's the F-35. That was a bit quick, wasn't it? I'll tell you why I had to pause then, because I'd actually scrolled too far ahead in the script and I'd actually teed up the thing for the next break. So yeah, it's fine. We made it.
Everybody does know
Nobody
any out of work professional VT editors, and
Yeah.
we'd love to
actually
have them.
we may actually need a video editor. So if anybody knows anybody who might want to do some video editing for us, please drop us an email to the email below. Thank you.
Now, the F-35's featured a few times in our show, hasn't it? We had Hugh Nichols and Adam Klink on. Really good episodes, well worth watching.
They were really
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, actually, Hugh Nichols was amazing, wasn't he? Very famously in the F-35. Was it Fighter Pilot? Was the program about the F-35 where he was teaching them all in Beaufort in South Carolina, where he now lives? It's pretty cool.
Very cool. I liked. Was it Adam Klink's one? They had the sign, didn't they, for the opening of the base? Was it at Wittering? And he had two signs, and he had one with one date and one with another date on it, which I thought was brilliant. Good.
Right, so this is a picture round.
Who's doing?
Oh, I think we might need to give him a couple more minutes, because a lot of first round ones, not many second round ones. So either everybody's left us, or the emails are taking a little bit longer to come through. So should we give him an extra minute? To be fair, John was last on the last round and first on this round.
He
So
must be
he's
well into his airships.
Did he just say this is nonsense? Is that all he entered?
actually, I will actually have a look at his email just to have a look. No, actually, he has actually given proper answers.
Oh wow!
I
wasn't expecting that.
Especially due south of about 5 Jaeger bombs.
Pete Wilson, thanks for your answers. You're going to get a bonus point for putting sausages. They're the worst in your answers. That is going to be a winner. You are going to get an extra bonus point for that one. Just a couple of more minutes to allow people to get their answers in. Come on, get your answers in, and then we'll go on to the picture round. Which, shall we leave the picture up for a while, Lindsay, and we'll talk some nonsense around it? Does that sound good? Yeah, well, I'm going to have to tee it up now because it's going to be challenging.
Okay.
Right, let's go, Lindsay. Whenever you're ready.
So picture round, there's a total of 15 points available for this round. So we're going to have, there's 5 pictures, and they're from quite well-known aviation themed movies. So you'll get 1 point for the actor for each of them, 1 point for the name of the movie, and 1 point for the aircraft, the main aircraft that featured in it. So
No.
5 pictures, 5 movies. You get a point for the actor, the name of the movie, and the aircraft that featured in that film.
And this is the name of the aircraft they used
In the film.
Yes.
I think we have to be very specific about this. The name of the aircraft they used in the film, not necessarily what the aircraft looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not giving any clues away. Right.
Because I know what will happen. There'll be it'll be a steward's inquiry. People will say, "Oh, but yeah."
Well, I'll be
Yeah,
the
yeah.
final judge for this round.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
So 1 point for the name of the actor that you can see in the picture. 1 point for the title of the movie, and 1 point for the aircraft, the main aircraft that was used.
Ooh. I think I
don't
could
even know.
probably get all of them apart from number 5.
Really?
Yeah.
I just can't think of the title of it.
No, me neither.
What I do know, I hope this isn't putting anyone off, is that when we watched the top left movie together, I was very critical about the age of some of the avionics in some of the aircraft.
We can't watch movies together that feature any sort of aircraft.
Really?
So-
Is he that bad? Is he like, oh no, that's the 1954 version in the 1962?
There was a picture inside of the avionics suite, and he went, oh, that's not right. He said that avionics suite's from 1974.
No, it was later than that. It was a
See what I mean?
it was a GNS 430, and if it was going to be anything, it would have been a Loran C, probably at that point.
Oh,
Like a
Loran.
North Star or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
can
why-
remember Loran.
That's why she loves me.
And that's why we can't enjoy movies that feature aircraft together.
Yes. In fact, another one of our guests, Steve Giordano, when Steve came on, a great show. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it again, please. It was amazing. Steve actually has one of those airplanes.
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
does. And they
He
asked
flies
him to
around.
use it for the movie. And he
Sorry?
refused. And they asked him to use it for the movie, and he refused.
Actually, the guy in the top left is in the UK at the moment. I thought I might tweet him and see if we could get him on the layover next week.
Give it a go.
What do you reckon the chances of that are?
Slim, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't-
About as much as Mark sitting in silence throughout, the top left.
Well, now that airships is trending in the UK on social media, we've got a chance. Who knows? We'll never know. Oh, pictures are all nonsense. Clearly, no A350s. Yeah, no, that is true. Actually, not in any of these films was there an A350, but there may have been.
Another sort of Airbus.
There may have been. Yeah, you've given too many clues away now. Right.
How much longer?
I reckon we'll give them one more minute. I think people will mostly be there. They'll be kicking themselves when they see the answers. Don't try, won't get. True. Don't forget, you can't just keep your answers at home. If you want to win the match, you've got to send them to media@thelayover.tv, and we will mark them later, I promise, and announce probably sometime tonight if we haven't been too lagged up. Who's won?
Marvelous. Right. Next one. No. What's next?
Well, actually, Scott's been feeling a little bit down in the dumps.
Bit blue.
Bit blue.
Well, I have been feeling a bit blue because it's a bit
Little bit.
jet blue. I've been feeling.
Can I be honest?
Go on.
I tracked it as it flew over our house.
Oh, God.
I have to say, first transatlantic flight. I know we're a bit late with this. Everybody covered it a couple of weeks ago, but we've been away. They have been working on this, and I know they've been working on this for the last 2+ years.
So what's the deal with it then? What's been happening?
So this is the amazing Airbus A321 long-range aircraft. It's brand spanking new. Been specially designed for this market. It's got this amazing new cabin inside, which we can have a look at, which is it's true long-haul luxury on a short-haul aircraft.
That is nice.
It does actually look quite nice, actually. I'm not sure I would like the kind of angle taking off, though. I'm not sure. I'd perhaps want to be a bit more back and forward. I don't know. People seem to love it. It seems to have gone down really well. It's not an airplane they've taken off the domestic market. It's obviously an odd time to be launching a product like this, I would have thought. But I'm sure people will try it out if it's cost effective. It's a long way in a single aisle aircraft, though. Yeah,
but if you've got a seat like that, I think when you're on a wide body, you don't really stray too far from your seat.
No, that is true. That is true. And the seat does look amazing. I have to say, it does look really, really nice. And it's only 2 class cabin. There's an economy cabin in this. There's no premium economy. Looks nice, though.
From an aircraft point of view, obviously it's been manufactured specifically for this role. So what's different, from this to this aircraft than just a normal 321?
It's funny you should mention that. Here's a video from
Airbus. Oh, okay.
Have we got one?
Hmm. 101 tons. Does that make it a heavy? 101 tons?
No, I don't think so. It's 200. Oh, actually, it might, because it's 250,000 pounds is a heavy. So no, actually, probably not. 'Cause 2.2 pounds to just be under, I think. So it's going to be a medium. I would think. Sorry to bore everyone with that.
I used to fly the very first long-range Airbus 320 series, which was the 319 corporate jetliner, and we had serial number 913. That was the first one, and I have to say it wasn't quite right. And now it's 20 odd years ago, so I'm sure Airbus have spent, I know they've spent an awful lot of time and effort on it. But it would be really interesting to find out exactly how they have made. So there were silly things like it got really cold. The whole airframe got really cold, and so cold that the air conditioning couldn't really keep up with it. It didn't have enough bodies in it, and so on.
I see.
So yeah, it was an extraordinary thing, really. So it's not as simple as just making an aeroplane go a long way. It's got to be, it's got to all work. But there we go.
Yeah, and I agree with Gareth. I do think it will be a bit of a game changer. Far more so than perhaps the Team B aeroplane that didn't fare so well in the same marketplace.
So that talking of game changers, because it could all be hanging on the final round, Scotty.
I hope this is like a really niche specific round.
Yeah, like niche in general knowledge, because
right.
I have no niche specific knowledge at all in anything. So I kept it as simple as I possibly could. So this is not going to be a tough one, everyone. Don't worry about it. So the last round is aviation general knowledge.
Quick fire, make it quick, because the last one was really slow.
Yeah, it was a bit dull and boring. Yeah,
not like the Airbus one.
Yeah, right. Okay, off we go. What are the four forces of flight? And don't say the Jedi Force. Is it A, air law, thrust, drag, and heavy? B, power, flaps, drag, and mass? C, lift, thrust, drag, and weight? Or D, lift, drag, flaps, and power? That was a really boring but very quick one, and it could be none of those, obviously. Bit of a niche one here for you, Mark. One of these aircraft is registered in the Netherlands Antilles.
Yeah.
Which one is it? Is it November 75699 Juliet, Foxtrot Golf Hotel November Mike, Alpha 6 Charlie Golf Yankee, or Papa Juliet Whiskey India Mike?
I know that one.
So which of these aircraft is registered in the Netherlands Antilles? Question 3. What does ICAO stand for? International Civil Aviation Organization, Intense Civil Aviation Operations, Interstate Civil Aircraft Operations, or International Civil Aircraft Organization? What does ICAO stand for? One for all the Concorde fans. Not the year that Concorde was built, but which year did Concorde enter commercial service? Was it 1976, 1980, 1975, or 1973? You can tell I did those randomly because they're in absolutely no order whatsoever. So which year did Concorde enter commercial service? Question 5. Which of the Wright brothers was credited with the first flight in a powered aircraft? Was it Wilbur, Steve, Orville, or Chuck? Don't laugh. Wilbur, Steve, Orville, or Chuck? So who was the first person to fly solo across the Atlantic? Was it A, Charles Lindbergh, B, Charles Chuck Yeager, C, Amelia Earhart, or D, Howard Hughes? Oh, he's come up a couple of times tonight, hasn't he? So who was the first person to fly solo across the Atlantic? So we've done the Atlantic. So who was the first person to cross the English Channel in an aeroplane? Was it Lindbergh, Blériot, Earhart, or Wilbur Wright?
This is a tough round. What?
Really?
I don't feel it's very general.
Okay.
This is like when I watch Mastermind and they do a general knowledge round, and I think, nope.
Yeah, bugger. Right, so you must know.
What's the other one? Only Connect.
Oh, God, yeah.
And what happens is we stare at the TV like a couple of Labradors watching food being opened.
Yeah.
And then we realise that we're incredibly dumb. And that's it. I
resemble that remark. Let's move on to number 8. Which is the oldest airline in the world?
This is actually very tricky because it depends how you're defining it, right?
Look at this.
Oh, yes, it is. And my answer stands. So is it Air France, British Airways, KLM, or Qantas? Which is the oldest airline in the world? Number 9, and we're getting towards the end now. So what is the national flag carrier of the United Arab Emirates? National flag carrier of the UAE. Is it Emirates, Etihad, Sky Dubai, or Qatar?
Who are Sky Dubai? Do you mean Fly Dubai?
Oh, yeah, sorry. The call sign is Sky Dubai. It is Fly Dubai. Sorry, yeah. Well, it could be Sky Dubai.
Not C.
The call sign is actually Sky Dubai, not Fly Dubai. Yeah, sorry. That's my fault. You can tell I took a lot of time over these. What is the colour of the box devices used to record voice and flight data in the event of an accident? What is the colour of the box devices used to record voice and flight data in the event of an accident? Is it black, red, orange, or blue?
I think you two put less effort into those questions than I did.
Probably because
Ooh,
we didn't have to
11?
research
A
airships.
tiebreaker.
Hang on. 11.
Yeah, this was an old one because I quite liked this one. I quite liked it as a question, so I thought, yeah, bugger off, I'll have 11. Right. Which of these countries unknowingly helped to build the fastest aircraft ever built?
I feel like it's got to be one that wouldn't typically cooperate.
So is it China,
Could be all of
Russia, Ukraine, or Germany? Unknowingly helped to build the fastest aircraft ever built.
I feel like there's a good story coming out of this.
There is a good story coming out of that one. Now, the tiebreaker, because we may have a tie break at the end.
Right.
So we have got a tiebreaker question.
Yeah.
Now, the tiebreaker question is, in normal times, the UK uses 15 billion litres of jet fuel per annum.
Wow.
Of that, how much does Heathrow use in litres on a normal day?
15 billion.
Hang on, Mark's just got his abacus out.
Billion.
So they use 15 billion litres of jet fuel a year.
Divided by 3
Of how much of that does Heathrow use in litres on a normal day?
Oh, the phone's, I think the calculator way.
Sorry?
Oh, hang on, Ben's asked, calculator allowed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
calculators allowed. Yes, you
If we're up
can
in the
use a
billions.
calculator on that one.
Ben, knock yourself out, Ben.
Yeah, we are up in the billions on that one. Yeah, it's a really, really tough question. And actually, I had a stab in the dark before I looked at the answers, and I was nowhere near.
So
Not
you're just
even
going to
close.
take. You're going to take the closest one, right?
I will take the closest one. Yeah, it'll be the closest one to the answer. But I was not even close. I was way, way off.
My calculator doesn't do
It doesn't go up that
doesn't
far.
go as much as it does.
You haven't got enough zeros. My calculator, I wrote boobs on it. That was all I wrote. It turned upside down.
Right, so Scotty,
Maybe that's-
whilst we're waiting for the rest of the answers to come in
And people to work out.
and people to
Yeah.
get their abacus sliding
Litres.
back and forth, I think we should give a really quick mention to Yvonne Pope Sintes, whose obituary was published in the Times this week. So she was the first female air traffic controller in Britain and the first female airline captain in Britain. So, quite an achievement
Wow.
to have sat, sort of on both sides of the fence. So she was introduced on a PA once as the lady jet pilot by her captain when she was a co-pilot.
The lady
Wow.
jet.
The lady jet pilot.
Accurately so.
So she got interested in aviation when she was 8 years old, and she saw the aircraft shoot over her back garden from Croydon Airport. So, obviously in her early years, she had loads of hurdles to overcome. She got turned away from the Air Force and from a few airlines initially just for being female and for being a woman. So she decided to be cabin crew. Then she qualified as a flight instructor. And then after that became Britain's first female air traffic controller at Gatwick. She then managed to get herself a job as a co-pilot, started on the Dakotas. And then within 6 months after that, she joined Dan Air, which was around 1970, and flew the Comets. And then she got her first captaincy on the Avro 748, which is a little turboprop, and then progressed onto the BAC 111. And there's a really good, so she's written a book about kind of all of her experiences as she kind of got into these different phases of aviation. But one of the really good bits that I read out, she said, sometimes she found it difficult to be accepted. Initially, when I first started, one of the pilots said that he would resign if a woman joined the airline. Unfortunately, he didn't.
That's lovely, isn't it?
It's awesome.
Can I ask an ad hoc bonus question for some
Oh,
bonus
go on then.
merch based on this picture that's up right now? So,
What I was actually going to ask you, I know the question you're going to ask is, what is the aeroplane in the windscreen?
no, I'm gonna. So to get the bonus merch, and Scott, you'll have to manufacture something really cool. You have to tell me what aeroplane she is in, and what is the aeroplane outside the window.
Oh, God.
Right. I will give a free hoodie to anybody who can get both of those correct.
Wow.
So I get a free.
So
hoodie.
a layover hoodie to anybody who gets both of those correct. And you can email us anytime today.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
I just think what a really good sort of, you know, role model for young women that are looking to get into, you know, not just flying, but any sort of field of aviation. And what a great legacy that she's kind of left behind.
Yeah. What a lovely story. How wonderful.
Yeah, lovely story. True loss to the community, isn't she? Amazing. So I'm just going to leave that picture up for a couple of more seconds,
Yeah,
so
good.
people can screenshot it and go off and have a look.
And
Because
there's a
I have,
hoodie in it.
yeah, I have absolutely no idea what they would be. Either of those. I love hard microphone. It's like the ones we use at work. Same era.
It's quite a beast, isn't it? That really huge.
It is a
Wonderful.
monster.
What are you pointing at there? That'll be some kind of DF instrument, so probably some form of ADF.
Just
up
looking
What, the
sort of in
one
the
above
middle.
on the roof? On the roof, yeah.
The disc thing.
I thought that was maybe the trim, the rudder trim.
Don't think so.
You know, like a big, you know, is it the, I can't remember what it was. What's the, is it the Goose or whatever that one? It has the throttles up here. It also has the rudder thing up there. I'm dancing. Hello. Yeah.
Got that. Right,
Okay,
good.
Scott, can we go and do the answers for Who Am I?
Oh, who am I?
No, look, David T just said, are you going to do the answers now?
Right, let's rattle through because we've got 4 minutes.
You know when people get really kind of...
Right.
Right, go
You
on.
ready?
Competitive.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so who am I? 1 to 10. Question 1, Spitfire. Number 2, Wright Flyer, which of a piece of Neil Armstrong took a piece of it to the moon.
Which is awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's cool.
Number 3 is the Convair B-36 Peacemaker.
An awesome 6 turning, 4 burning, they used to call that.
That's right.
Yeah, which it technically did keep the peace.
Number 4 is a U-2.
Amazing aeroplane.
Number 5 is Enola Gay. Number 6 is the Hughes H1 Spruce Goose. That is huge, isn't it?
It's still around as well. It's in the Evergreen Museum, I believe, in the US.
Yeah, there's one. Is that in Oregon?
Yeah.
That is the one.
Yes, I think it is.
The one.
Yeah, the one in Oregon. Yeah, I'd love to go and see it. It's the Evergreen Airlines Museum, and they've got this there. It's got a 747 on the roof, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Number
really cool.
7, Super Guppy. Very cool.
Really cool.
It does look quite cool, doesn't it?
Number 8 is the Electric Lightning. Number 9 is the F-111 Aardvark. And
Is that an Aussie one? That's an Aussie one.
number 10 is the Canberra PR9.
Oh, yeah, an awesome aeroplane. A couple of those are actually at Kimball at the moment, sitting outside.
Right, Mark,
Still in service
rattle through
with
your...
NASA as the WB 57. Right, what's the next round? So the next round, right,
Airships.
airships. Okay. So did the Germans stop sausage production in favour of airships? Yes, they did.
They didn't. Oh, bugger.
They did. They needed the
You know-
sausage skins to make the gas bags. Would you believe it? The ballonets.
That's not true. You're making that up.
No, the internet said it was true. It might be one of those things that just isn't true. But apparently, for a short period, sausage production in Germany was halted in favour of airships.
And for tonight, it's true.
Wow.
It's true, right? We said it's true, so it's true.
Sweet.
It's true on the internet. It's on YouTube, so it must be true. First aerial bombardment was Great Yarmouth.
Not a bad shout.
Don't really
Why?
know. No idea. I think it was just where they could get to. You know, it was just where they could float over to. So how much bigger is the Hindenburg than the 747? It's 3 to 4 times. It's actually about 3.3 times bigger, and it's double
Wow.
the height.
That is crazy.
Enormous.
Wow,
Enormous.
yeah, look at that. Wow.
Who wants to guess at speed? How fast it could go in a cruise?
I'm going to say that I think middle of the range was 16 knots or something, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, nowhere near 64 knots.
Holy moly.
Yeah,
Really way quicker. So a transatlantic trip was either 2 or 3 days, basically, which was way quicker than the sort of 8 days in an ocean going liner. By the way, it would have cost you the equivalent of about $40,000 to make the trip,
Wow.
which is a lot. So the odd one out. Go on, odd one out.
I want to say smoking lounge because I don't think smoking and hydrogen go together.
Yes. Well, you would have thought that designing in a smoking lounge would have been
I'm
a
going to
bad
say
idea.
drift meter.
No, they had all.
Yeah, I've
those.
never heard that.
They had an autopilot. They had a coxswain because it was run like a boat. They had an optical drift meter, which was super clever. They had a super lightweight grand piano made of aluminium and pig skin. Extraordinarily, they had a smoking lounge, and celestial navigation was the thing they didn't really do. They did take star sights, but they didn't believe in it. So there we go. Number 6. So they wanted to convert it to helium, but all the helium was in the US, and the US considered it a potential war product. And I'm not quite sure how an inert gas would be a war product, I suppose, for airships, but they wouldn't export it.
Wow,
so and slightly ironic as well. So the accident that then did for the Hindenburg, although it looks awful, it was only the 3rd most deadly airship.
Wow,
so
that really surprises me.
For your 40 grand, you were literally right out there on the ragged edge of danger. Goodyear, the Goodyear blimp, when did it start? What do you reckon?
So
60s,
I'm trying to... I'm thinking, when did TV start? Because it kind of was a TV thing, wasn't it? So I'm thinking probably late 40s, early 50s, something like that. So 47 was one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I deliberately put some post-war years in there. 1925. Remember, it was the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, and they were advertising tires, basically, initially.
Wow.
And they did indeed use to build their own airships.
I'm guessing Big Floaters LLC isn't a winner on this one.
I have no idea why that's funny. But you're correct. It's not correct. And Zeppelin is the answer. So Zeppelin NT, who are over in just on Lake Constance at Friedrichshafen, which is quite amazing. I didn't actually realise Zeppelin was still around.
Me neither. It's a name that conjures fear. All those things blowing up and stuff. Wow.
Yeah, a big rebranding exercise, I guess. And minimum crew, 39.
Wow.
39 actual crewmen. And they were all men. 39 people just to run the darned thing. There's some good pictures here. I did have a picture of the smoking lounge, but it was just a sort of square box. It had an airlock. It only had one lighter. You weren't allowed to bring your own lighter on board, etc.
Significant amount of fire extinguishers.
It was pressurized.
Boom.
It was pressurized to keep the hydrogen out. But what kind of meeting must they have had where they said, okay, we've got this 7 gazillion liters of explosive hydrogen in the thing. Do you think we need a smoking lounge? Oh yeah, we definitely need a smoking lounge.
Someone's gone, guys, I know this is going to seem like a really bad idea.
It's going to seem really out there.
Passengers will
It'll
love
be
it.
awesome. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you for indulging my airship interests.
Right, picture round.
So, yeah.
So, number 1, Tom Cruise, American-made Aerostar.
Oh, that's a goodie.
Number 2, John Travolta, Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow.
And the aircraft that they use in the film is a B3, but I will accept B2 because that's what it's really meant to look like.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll take both.
Really?
Yes. Number 3, Denzel Washington, flight in an MD-80. Number 4, Tom Hanks, Sully, A320. And number 5, Owen Wilson, behind enemy lines.
Oh, yeah.
F-18.
That was it. Oh, yeah. Bloody hell. I couldn't remember behind enemy lines. Oh, that was a good round. That was a good round, Lindsay.
Right, Scott, general knowledge. Let's go.
Right, let's go for it.
Cash.
So, what are the four forces of flight? Lift, thrust, drag, and weight is what we'll accept.
Cash and paperwork.
It is probably that. So, Mark, Netherlands Antilles. Which one did you think it was?
PJ.
It was PJ. For interest, A is America, B is France, C is... Any guesses, Mark?
The UAE.
It is the UAE, yeah. And the Netherlands Antilles is PJ.
I'll let
most
you
of
see my notebook if you want. No.
So what does ICAO stand for then? It's the top one.
It's the top one.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to ask you, Concorde, we all know when it was built, but when did it enter commercial service? Any guesses? Was it 73, 75?
I thought it was 75.
76.
Oh, close, Lindsay. It was, in fact, 76.
Interesting connection with this house, our house, and Concorde is that the previous occupant was the primary Concorde complainant in the Heathrow area.
Really?
Yes. He hated Concorde. He hated it.
Good Lord. Is that how you got his address and took the house? Got the house?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right. Which of the Wright brothers was credited with the first flight? Was it Wilbur, Steve, Orville, or that lesser-known brother, Chuck?
Orville.
It was Orville, correct. So first solo across the Atlantic, everybody knows this, I think, was obviously Charles Lindbergh. Across the Channel, though, anybody?
Blériot.
Lindbergh, Blériot. Yeah, it was Blériot. Nice one, Mark. It was just Blériot. He's credited with it. Now, the controversial one.
Okay.
Oldest airline in the world.
I thought it was KLM.
Mark?
I'm going for KLM.
Excellent. It is KLM, and not any of the others who may have been rebranded and amalgamated and used the legacy of those previous airlines. KLM is the only one to keep its brand all the way through and is the oldest airline in the world. Now, this one will catch a few out. What is the national flag carrier of the UAE? Is it Emirates, Etihad? It's Fly Dubai instead of Sky Dubai, or Qatar?
Etihad.
It is Etihad. Many people will think it's Emirates, but it is not. It is
Many
Etihad.
people, including Emirates, will think it's Emirates.
Yes, they will, because they painted the flag on it deliberately to become the flag carrier and didn't, because it was Etihad.
That's a shame.
So what is the colour of the box devices used to record voice and flight data recording in the event of an accident? What do we call them?
Minds here, Scott.
Well,
What do we call them?
We call them the black box, but it's not black.
It's not black. The black box is, in fact, orange. Yeah, so it is bright orange so that it can be found. Yeah. Playing with people's minds there. Which of these countries unknowingly helped to build the fastest aircraft ever? Now, this is quite a good one. Any guesses? Was it China, Russia, Ukraine, or Germany?
I know, but I'm not going to say.
I don't know.
Do you want me to say?
Go on. Do you know why? Do you know the story?
It was Russia because the initial titanium for the A12 ox cart was basically bought through a shill company out of Murmansk or somewhere like that. It was mined in or Archangel or somewhere, basically to the very spot that they were going to go and fly the thing over and take photos of.
That is entirely true. So it was Russia. So Russia provided
Can you look a little bit more like you actually love me?
Yeah, all of the titanium for the A12 and some of the SR-71s that were later built was actually sourced through a shell company from Russia. So Russia built most of the SR-71 and A12s, which ended up spying on them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ben said, wasn't Gulf Air the flag carrier for the UAE? No, it was never. It was a flag carrier for Bahrain, but Bahrain it operated very much like Emirates as the sort of the airline for the region. but it wasn't quite a proper flag carrier.
The
Ben
actual
also says-
flag carrier is Etihad. Yeah.
Ben also says there's a Super Guppy at Toulouse. There is Aeroscopia, which is a brilliant museum. And if you go there, go and have a look at how the nose of the aeroplane opens up, which includes breaking through all of the control cables to get things in and out.
Wow.
Wow. So Elaine has said she's seen the spruce goose at the Evergreen Museum in McMinnville.
Minville,
Yes, it is a real town. She'll settle for a key ring. Well, Elaine, you have to get the answers right. So we'll see. We'll see how you've done.
Key ring. Give her a key ring, you mean so and so.
Give us a tiebreak answer as well, because this is my calculator has exploded.
Right. Do you really want the tiebreak answer?
No. You said any time today. You're going to let people.
Oh.
Because we don't even.
No. That wasn't the tiebreak answer. Anytime today was the two airplanes in that picture, which you'll actually have to tell me because I've got no idea.
Okay.
Right. So what did you reckon, Lindsay?
I have no idea.
Right.
I think it's got to be about. I'm going to say 7.8 million.
Million?
No. What's the answer? What's it liters? 7.8. No.
So it was 15 billion litres of fuel per annum.
Yeah.
How much does Heathrow use a day in litres? So that's the whole of the UK uses 15 billion. How much does Heathrow only use a day in litres? Some guesses in the chat, if anybody's there. Some quick guesses in the chat, what you've written down before I have a look later. And this tiebreak, obviously, at 20, I'll look at the timestamps on these answers now. So anything after 2010 will be discounted.
I'm going to say 7 million.
Mark, you've had your calculator out. Go for it.
I'm going to say 14 million, just to be different.
14. Oh, it's good. We've got a few here. 33 million, 20 million. It's all in the millions. Mark Bentley's saying more than that. Well, it's actually 22 million. So it actually wasn't much more than that. Yeah, Mark Bentley got 22 million. Did you Google that, Mark? Well done if you didn't. You know, that was cracking. 22 million a day.
So I think that makes Heathrow about 65% of the total fuel pumped per day in the UK. Then
I think it was 58 when I looked at it. Yeah, something like 58% of the daily fuel.
Okay, looks like the timing's been perfect for John.
The Jaegers have kicked in and I've lost the plot. Oh, yeah. John, he changed it from KLM to Qantas. Otherwise, it would have been 10 out of 10. John, that could have just blown you there. You've lost the match over that one question. I've had a lot of fun tonight. It's been quite fun.
Yeah, it was really good.
We're having a bit of a rethink about what we do in terms of content because the world's getting back to normal, which is a good thing. So we'd like ideas. What do you want to see? How frequent is good? Should we do little shorter things?
How much is too much?
How much is too much? Which might be
airship rounds.
All of it. All airship rounds. I think I'm taking on a bit of a sort of boring James May role in this whole thing. Anyway, look, if you've got ideas, email us at media@loud.tv. And it'd be lovely to hear from you anyway. Just email us anyway.
We've got the job of tallying up the scores.
Yeah, I've got to get my
calculator out
off to count.
All right, yeah.
Good. It'll be fine. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's been brilliant, and
thanks for taking part.
A really good showing as well, and some brilliant chat. Actually, it's lovely when the chat thing takes off and it gets all a bit riotous. It's mainly John actually that just makes it riotous. Everyone else is just polite conversation. But lovely to see everybody.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us. I hope we can continue to entertain you in the future with some new stuff. Hopefully, it'd be great. Looking ahead to next week, honestly, we haven't got a guest yet, so we're not going to bother announcing anyone because we haven't got anyone. I was kind of hoping that the Tom Cruise thing's going to pay off for me. So if anybody knows Tom Cruise or knows anybody who knows Tom Cruise,
A good word in.
tell him he needs to get on the layover. We will actually tweet him later. I'll actually get a tweet out. So if anybody could just retweet the tweet and at Tom Cruise, that would be amazing. I think we've got zero chances, but hey, at least we can get airships trending. I'll put airships as the hashtag.
You used to have a Sia Machete SF260.
That could be the opener. That could be the opening question.
Maybe I could chat to him about that and his avionics.
Oh,
yeah, and his airships.
Anyway, let's get out
all
of
right,
here.
Scott, catch you later.
Catch you later. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, do all that stuff, and watch later. Bye.
Bye.